I'll have the peppered seared lamb.
That's what I do.
And they're like, yeah, no, I know what it's called.
Yeah, I know. And they wait and they just put the lamb.
Yeah, they're just going in the kitchen going, lamb.
Yeah.
Right, that's it. Hello, I'm Nick Grimshaw.
And I'm Angela Hartnett.
And this is Dish
Indeed.
from Waitrose. Today on the podcast, we have two guests who I feel like if Waitrose and the corner shop got married, it would be Jordan North and William Hanson, everybody!
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean?
He's more Harrods, I'm more Happy Shopper.
Yeah. Shout out Happy Shopper.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, I'm dead excited you're here. I've been more nervous about, I mean, I know Jordan, but I've been nervous about meeting William. I felt like, you know, as an etiquette expert, everything that I've done has been judged.
No. Well, it's been judged to be lovely and welcoming and has been
Even the glass, I was like, will this glass be all right for him?
Nick, everybody's like this with him. Every time, everywhere we go, they're all like, oh God. Even my mum, and she's met him a few times, she's like, do you think my dress is all right? He took my mum to Soho House in London.
Yeah.
And you could not believe her face. She's like, I'm in Soho House.
I mean, it was just for some eggs on toast. It wasn't anything exciting.
Literally, she moved to Spain a few years ago and she's told everyone in Spain about it since.
Yeah.
I went with the UK's leading etiquette expert.
Yeah. Just Soho House.
I chose there because it's just the tube stops that I get off at. It's a very direct walk, so it's very convenient.
Yeah.
It's so handy, yeah.
Don't go to any effort, as much as I love you, Mother.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Wendy.
Yes.
How is she? Love
She's
Wendy.
good, actually. She's really good. Yeah, she rings me all the time and she's currently in Spain. She says I never ring her enough, but every time I ring her, she's on Lady Petrol, as she calls it, Prosecco. She's like, I'm with your Auntie Kath, we've just been to book club and they wouldn't know culture if it hit them in the face. Says, ring me back. I'm 2 bottles deep, and I'm like, right.
Oh, God.
She says I never ring her every time she's plastered.
Just doesn't remember.
She's got the life. That's the dream life out there.
Yeah,
I know.
It's what we all aspire to.
Yeah, just smashed in
Yeah.
Spain.
Yeah.
Honestly, when this is all over, I'm going to do exactly the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where is she living in Spain?
It's in Almeria, Murcia, and they do it with a lisp now because they think
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
Spanish.
Spanish, yeah.
Yeah, she goes, Murcia, do you want some chorizo?
Oh my God. William, actually, where do you sit on that? Because you know you've got those, not you, I mean me, but we've all got those unknown friends that like, oh, I'm off to Paris or like Ibiza.
No.
It's like, you don't say it like that.
No, I'm all for anglicising things.
Right, okay.
I don't think I would say. I'd probably say chorizo. I'd anglicise it. I wouldn't say chorizo.
No.
Yeah.
But that was only because there was a king in Spanish history that had a lisp and started to say everything, and so this is going back hundreds of years.
This is
There
why
you
he's
go.
brilliant.
And so in order
Yes.
to make him feel more comfortable, the courtiers started to lisp as well. Just like it was Edward VII was very large and so couldn't put the bottom button on his waistcoat, and so it became the etiquette not to do your bottom button on a waistcoat, because otherwise you'd fat shame Edward VII.
Oh, no, not doing that.
That was the idea.
Not doing that.
Yeah.
Where do you stand with that, Ange? Because, you know, you
What,
have...
fat shaming Edward
No.
VII?
Yeah, I've always wanted to know.
Bit
How do you
harsh.
stand with that? No, with because you know you run many an Italian restaurant. Do you expect people to order with a or a
No.
Italiano?
Gosh, no.
No, if they do.
No, not at all. I mean, people get annoyed actually sometimes if you put too many Italian words, like something like
dare you.
How dare you?
Italian.
In England, you know. But no, I don't. But I remember we were in Paris one time, and my brother thought he was being clever, speaking to whoever it was in his really bad French, and they just replied in English. I mean, if that's not the biggest put down, it's like don't even bother. Just talk to us, you know. But no. I think
What if
it's,
somebody ordered spag bol in an Italian restaurant? They wouldn't like that, would they?
Well, I've got my own
Be
issues
honest,
on a
come
different
on.
level, because traditionally, and I think William will back me up, hopefully, it's never spag bol in Italy. It's always tagliatelle or pappardelle or fettuccine. So we have, you know, anglicised it by using spaghetti.
Why did we decide to do that here?
I've no idea. But anyway, so
sorry,
we would never have spaghetti bolognese on the menu. We would have tagliatelle bolognese or fettuccine, but never spag bol.
I was filming in Spain
Yeah.
with a show with Beverly Callard.
Yeah.
And we were in, where were we in Spain? And they made us a proper paella. paella. And we
nice.
stopped for film, and the Spanish guy said, "Do you know Jamie Oliver?" I said, "No." He said, "If you ever see him, tell him he's not welcome in Spain." I was like, "Oh my God, why?" He went, "We never put prawns or chorizo in paella."
Yeah,
and
it's
apparently
so
that's
true.
a British thing.
Are they vegetarian paellas?
No, it's
traditionally?
not. Rabbit.
Yeah, it's all
rabbit.
meat. You never
Yeah.
put fish and meat together.
No, and they put, and he said,
Yeah.
Jamie Oliver's done that, and he was like, "You tell him he's never welcome in Valencia."
Oh God, no! They get really
I don't think he's
upset.
welcome in a lot of countries. Yeah, I think Andy Oliver wants to beat him up as well. Yeah.
You got to be careful. People get really patriotic about
Yeah,
it, how
yeah.
things are done.
But I think Castellet, am I right in saying, I've said this to you yesterday actually, Castellet was meant to be goose originally, but then Julia Child changed it to chicken. 'Cause she knew
I
American
always think duck
housewives.
with Castellet, but yeah, I
Right,
can imagine
yeah.
that's probably true. Actually, yeah.
She just went Americans way.
Castellet, the French,
Yeah, she's
French.
like-
do
I
a
don't know
great
what
Castellet.
cassoulet is. What is it?
Is it casserole?
Stew? Yeah, ish.
Yeah.
It's lots of it's beans, and then you have sausages, you have chicken in there, you have duck in there, you know, loads of things, and it's basically like it's similar to like paella, but it's southern France that do it, you know, and it's beautiful, you know, really hearty sort of food, big dollop of mustard, that sort of thing, good red wine. You're not
bit
getting
of
that
bread.
today, Mike.
Start the car.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. So we always love when a duo comes for tea because it feels more like we're hanging out rather than we're doing an interview. So we're really happy that you guys are both here. You guys both met, I'm right in saying, because Jordan, you worked for William? No?
Close enough.
You were William's runner?
So I was
No?
a T-boy at
We'll go with that.
Radio 5 Live. I
Yes.
was on Work Experience, and he was a guest on one of the
Oh,
shows.
right, okay. Close.
And we were both 21 at the time, both still in uni. And he was claiming even then to be the UK's leading etiquette expert. I just said it at 21, and it stuck. And I remember I made him a brew in a chip mug, and he didn't drink it. And I thought at the time, like, he was in his late 30s, early 40s, because of how he dressed.
I know. He's brutal.
With the same age.
Was
And
it
I
the
thought-
smoking jacket
Yeah.
that you were wearing? You know, the cravat.
Yes. and I thought he'd like go home to his little Liberian wife and
He's
have
a terrible
sherry.
judge of character.
He didn't have a wife.
No.
And we never thought we'd see each other again, did we?
No, but the corridors at that BBC, which is demolished now since they built Media City, were so long. So you had a really long time, almost an awkward amount of small talk with people. But he was making me laugh, and I would go in probably every week. But there was Jordan this week, and he was making me laugh, and he said goodbye to me at reception. I thought, well, we won't keep in touch, but that was
That was nice. Yeah.
that was nice. And then you moved in with some mutual friends.
Yeah. Our mutual friends were holding this, how long ago it was, an Olympic 2012
Oh
party.
gosh, yeah.
An opening ceremony one. And my housemate said, I've got a mate coming around tonight. He's a bit posh. You won't like him. Just don't be rude. And he called William up and said, my housemate's a bit rough around the edges.
You won't like him.
You won't like him. Don't be rude. And he took the piss out of me all night, and I
Yeah.
just fell in love with him.
Yeah,
literally. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this guy is hilarious.
And look at us now.
Oh, Lord. And when you first, fell in love, when the moment happened?
We're not a couple, but
No, they're not.
There was a point where
Where's this going?
I was really drunk. No, joking.
No, there was a point where we talked about this on the podcast since like series 1 or 2, where we had sort of agreed before I was engaged to my now husband, we were going to be safety relationships.
Yeah.
And
Right.
if we were both single at 40 or 50, I can't remember the age. We'd get together. But luckily, Mikey said yes, and Jordan dodged that bullet,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
Oh my God.
That looks
Thank you.
incredible.
So today, for you guys, we've gone for a Rarebit Mac and Cheese, which I guess is like I've never had a Rarebit Mac and Cheese. I always thought Rarebit was confined to toast.
Oh no! Well, it's
So
basically a cheese
what have you done
sauce.
here? Cheese
Yeah,
sauce.
so what's gone
okay.
on here, Ange?
So normal macaroni cheese is a macaroni with lots of cheese and in a white sauce, and we've done the same, but we've added Guinness to it. And lots of those
yes.
spices
You knew he
that
was
you
coming.
have with Welsh rabbit, which is so we've got cayenne pepper,
pleasure.
a little bit of mustard in there. We've also got some Worcester sauce in there, so it's all that sort of stuff that gives it that lovely spicy
It
sort of
smells
cheese.
fantastic.
And then I've made a little cabbage slaw to go with it.
Do you like serving from the table? You know, like when people call it family style, which is that help yourself?
Yes, well, you've got a lovely wide
I
table.
love the way Jordan's like, no, he
Jordan's
doesn't.
Nice wide table, so it works. I think
Yes.
if you've got quite a narrow table, it doesn't work, and it's easier to do
Okay.
it on the side or just
Right.
plated. But
Yeah.
I don't object to
No,
it.
you don't object. Okay.
There's a
sometimes
time
I
and a
do.
place.
Yeah, there's a time and a place.
Exactly.
There's
Yes.
a time and a place.
When he comes to my house, it's very much, I just put it all on the table, knife and forks in a pot in the middle. It's like, help
It's
yourself.
like going to Weatherspoons, basically.
How is dinner at Jordan's?
Oh, it's lovely. We love going. He's a very good host.
Yes. Oh, good.
Yes. You don't leave Jordan's house sober.
Yeah, that's
which
good.
is,
Generous.
Which is fun. Well, my husband does because he doesn't drink, but I don't leave
Yeah.
sober. You go very well fed. So no, he's good. He's very nice.
I always make my world famous brownies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so every time he comes round, because he loves them, I make my triple chocolate chip brownies.
Very
Oh,
fancy.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is nice.
Eat before it gets cold.
Oh yeah, let's
Okay,
get
thank
and
you.
William makes cock in a van and stuff. So
Not cocking a van.
I treated Jordan to my soft pork that I sous vide'd, and he enjoyed that.
he had things in bags and all sorts. Have you had a
sous
sous vide?
No,
Do you
what's
have a
that?
sous vide machine at
Yes, I
home?
do.
What's a sous vide?
Tell Grimmy.
Oh, I love the fact I found another homosexual that doesn't know what a sous
No, I
vide
don't know
is
what that is.
because
But I feel like I need
didn't.
one.
I didn't know
Oh my
what
God,
one was
that's
either.
gonna be my line of the month.
So
What the hell is
It's a
it?
boil in a bag.
Essentially.
it's a water bath with a
Right.
special stick that regulates the temperature throughout the water
Yeah.
to give a consistent temperature. You sous vide means under vacuum. You
Yeah.
vacuum pack your food and then
You could
finish
be
it.
on MasterChef.
I've seen it on MasterChef,
Well,
yeah. Angela, this is
So-
really
This is
delicious.
amazing.
Angela, this is, I could kiss you. This
Oh,
is delicious.
pleasure.
Can we get the recipe for this? Is this available?
It is available.
Waitrose.
On waitrose.com/dish recipes, actually, William, I hate to say it, when I saw we're having mac and cheese, I know people get excited about it, but sometimes I'm like,
Oh, I love it.
it's a bit like, all
Yeah.
right. This feels like it's got a bit more depth and
Yeah,
it's
it
a
has.
spice and
No, it
taste
is,
to
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yes, no, it's very nice.
It's really good.
And what have you done the coleslaw in?
So the coleslaw is just shredded white cabbage with lots of different herbs in there. We've got parsley, we've got dill in there, a bit of tarragon, I think, and then a mustard vinaigrette. So just vinegar, mustard, Dijon mustard, olive oil, and seasoning.
Is that the one that your mum does?
My mum's one, yeah, and
That is
clove
the
of
good.
garlic.
That is the vinaigrette.
Clove of garlic that sits in the vinaigrette.
And you just leave it in the fridge with the
Leave it in
clove
the
into
fridge,
party
yeah.
for however long you want.
Gorge. Lovely. Angela, can I ask you where you stand on coleslaw versus the more modern slaw? Why have we ditched the coal? Or is there a logical reason?
Well, people say slaw.
Yeah,
well, I
yeah.
think it's a mayonnaise thing.
Right.
See, I wouldn't call that coleslaw. I would call it slaw because of the way it's cut. But there's no mayonnaise, so I wouldn't call it coleslaw.
Oh, yeah.
But
That
does
may
coal
just
mean
be me.
mayonnaise? Was it
Well, no, that's what I'm
Coleman's
saying.
mayonnaise?
This
What-
is just my interpretation.
William, there's a lot going on in the world.
Yeah.
Hey, don't
Well, no,
laugh.
it's a
I
great
think there's
point.
bigger
I've not
things to
thought of
worry
that.
about.
It's
I
the
get
same
it.
as we used to call it an avocado pear.
Yes.
Then it became an avocado.
Yeah.
And now it's just an avo.
Well, no, I don't call it avo.
And
I
then
hate
in
avo.
5 years, it's just going to be like, it'll just be a sound.
I'd never had avocado until I moved to London.
Same.
Honestly.
I've not.
Honestly.
Same.
It was
Yeah.
mad.
You see,
No.
I think that's an age thing. 'Cause my mum still calls it an avocado pear.
Yes,
Oh,
I think
does
it's
she?
very
And my
smart.
mum went
Yeah.
to the hotel we run in the New Forest and she had the amazement. She goes, I just would love an avocado pear with some vinaigrette. And that's what, but it was real 70s sort of style
yes.
food.
The height of sophistication,
Exactly.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah,
So-
I'd never had one until I came to London, Jordan, as well.
Yeah.
Did you find there was stuff? I'd not had hummus. I'd not had a sweet potato.
Oh, you can't move for them now.
No, I know now. But when I first came down, it was like a whole new world.
It's mad.
It really blew my mind. Do your family complain that you've ever gone London?
Yes, I remember that. All right, go. I remember the first time I started working in London, and I'd moved down and I'd come up after about 6 weeks. And I said to my dad, I went, "Well, what are you and my mum doing tonight?" And he was like, "No." I said, "Oh, we'll go out for some dinner." He said, "Dinner? It's past dinner time." I said, "Oh, sorry, I meant tea." He went, "Oh, it's dinner now. You're down there in London." And he looked me straight in the eye and went, "It's tea in this house."
If you want to try this Rarebit mac and cheese that we're having, it's a recipe by Alexina Anatoli. You can find this recipe and all the recipes we have, waitrose.com/dish recipes. And we've got a wine pairing suggestion.
We have, yes. And
What would
wine-
go perfect with
it's
this?
It's a Bourgogne Blanc by Marc Dudet. And it's a lovely oak Chardonnay with citrus aromas and a hint of honey.
Or we're also having
Guinness.
a Guinness.
Yes.
Because there's
We
Guinness
love
in
it.
the recipe, and we
Which
know you
makes sense.
love a Guinness,
I
Jordan.
love a Guinness.
Yeah. When I see a Guinness, I do think of you.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's how strong your brand connection
We are
is.
called
Dense.
we're called the vegans of drinkers because like how do you know when someone drinks Guinness? Because they'll tell you.
Yeah, true.
We
Yeah,
never.
true. It's like, it's my personality.
It literally
Yeah, yeah,
is.
yeah.
And like someone texted in the other day, you know, every now and then you get a text that stings you when you're on the radio. And it just went, why can't you say you're just going for a pint instead of say you're going for a pint of Guinness? I was like, because I have to let everybody know I love the stuff.
Yeah.
I never told anyone this. I'm not saying it publicly, but I'm into the demis.
Yeah, I like
I
the
was
demi.
out last night and I had a little demi with
little
meal,
demi.
half pint.
Nice.
Just the way forward, and I can literally hear all the North now screaming at me. But
Yeah.
I only have pints of beer when I'm back home. That's what I
run-
fit in. I love an half pint.
Do you?
Little demi now. And well.
You need to go to the French house where my husband cooks, because that's all they do. Is
They
half
only
pints.
serve half.
Best way.
And then
Yeah.
on April Fool's Day, or April the 1st rather, they do pints.
How I Sexted My Boss is now in its 9th series.
so mad.
Yeah, it's been we're now always on.
Yeah,
So
just on.
I don't really know what number we're on. We used to do series, but now it's just off
on.
we go. I think loosely we call it series infinity.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's over 400 episodes.
Yeah,
know.
we started it.
Loads.
We started it as it was our friend Stuart who's here. He was like, "You two should do a podcast,"
Right.
And we pitched it to certain people, and they didn't want it. So we thought, well, let's do it anyway.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd do 2, maybe 3 series, and now it's gone from strength to strength. Like sold out tours and a book, and it's mad. And it's of everything I do, it's the least stress. You just go in like you used to. I'm saying this in front of all your production company. You probably do all the hard work.
And don't do nothing.
We do that, and we just go in and chat. How's your week? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I seen this week, and we just love doing it.
It doesn't feel like work. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
fun to just sit
And
and
it's
chat
essentially
with your
when
friends.
lots of people writing in asking you about life questions in a way.
Yes.
You know.
So the second half we do dilemmas from the listeners, where it sort of conceived as, you know, if you have sent a saucy message to your employer, and it was meant for someone else, what do you do? How do you cope? Actually, we have never actually addressed the title of our podcast in the podcast, but we have done it in the book.
Yes.
But it's
Available now.
Available
Thank
now. But it's sort of modern etiquette.
Do you get people asking you stuff like when you're out and about in the street? Do you get people being like, "Oh, I listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Can I ask you? Do you?"
Yeah.
And is it serious advice people?
Sometimes, yes, and then it's actually, or they'll sort of message on Instagram or whatever with, I don't want to write this into the podcast because, you know, the podcast is sort of funny, and then it's a really serious problem.
no.
In fact, actually, there is a really serious problem that someone keeps messaging me about that I have had to sort of reply with, I am not qualified to deal
Right,
with
yeah.
this.
Yes.
Here is a telephone number.
Yeah.
You need to phone this person or this company,
not messaged
organisation. No.
No.
And so I've had to sort of really push back on that because I don't want to be accountable if anything
Sure.
awful happens.
No, you can't give like bad advice. That he said.
Yes.
A lot of people tend to come up to me and go, "I'm more like you, and my other half's more like William."
Yeah.
He's from the Cotswolds, so he's a bit posh. I'm from Barnsley, and I'm like, oh, okay. So a lot of people tend to do that. I go, oh, we're friends, and I'm very much like William, and she's like Jordan. I'm like, oh, cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for that. Yeah. So do you think William gets more of the actual advice?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And he gives really good advice.
Well, sometimes.
No, genuinely, I'm just thinking, I hear a letter sometimes, think, right, how can I be funny here? Whereas William's like, oh no, you genuinely do give good advice. And
that's
I
very
pick it
kind.
up, like, I've learned so much from him. Like now, I was having soup in a restaurant recently, and I scooped the soup away from me. That's how you're meant to eat soup. What else? There's loads of stuff.
Yes, you now don't take this the wrong way. You at weddings, you go and we're going back to what we were saying about Edward VII. You go and unbutton grooms or groomsmen's bottom buttons on waistcoats.
Because you have your bottom button.
Yeah.
And I never take my jacket off at the table because that's quite rude if you're in a suit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's little things he tells me.
Because sat in the suit jackets.
It's hard work.
Nice, isn't it?
But you can
You just gotta
ask, can
suck
I
it
remove
up,
my
yeah.
jacket?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Okay, you can ask.
And if the host does it, you can do it.
If the host does it, yeah.
Do you think you've become a better human, essentially, on the behavioural front since meeting William?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've got diptyque candles now.
Oh,
so-
yeah.
Which for a while he was pronouncing as dick pic candles.
Dick pic. Yeah. He used to be Yankee Candle,
bought-
and now...
He bought me my first diptyque, and I'm like, I get this.
okay.
So if a bit of work comes in, or I've had a good month, I'm like, I'm going to treat myself to a diptyque.
We have a question about etiquette that we thought could be great. Quite like to hear William's and Angela's.
Oof.
I am an amateur home cook and I love to cook different dishes. I like to be creative. I like to add my own spin on other chefs' recipes. I've pinched some of Angela's from her books. My question is, my husband always says, no more than 5 elements on the plate. Sometimes they can go a bit overboard, make it look a bit like fine dining. Do Angela and William agree with my husband? Is less more?
That's a great question.
She also has another one.
Okay.
Carry on.
Yeah, go for it.
Also, cheeky extra question. When it comes to plating a dish, is it all in the middle or on the side of the plate moving inwards? That's from Amy, who says somewhere in the north.
Generic North.
Yeah, vague.
okay.
Generic North.
It reminds me of an article I wrote when I did my Daily Mail column years ago on how to tell if you're having an upmarket roast lunch.
Okay.
And I said less is more on the plate, where you sort of see it where it's this pile of
Yes.
vegetables and Yorkshire puddings with everything.
Like Toby Carver.
Yes,
Yes.
is perhaps not as sophisticated. And I think it was, the meat, potato, and maybe I think I said 2 types of vegetables. So I guess she's sort of alluding to that. But I would also say, and I'll be interested to hear Angela's point, it depends on who you are cooking for, what it is, if it's just dinner that you're having on your own versus if you're doing an entire 3-4 course dinner for friends and actually you
Yeah.
don't want to overwhelm them with lots of food on each course. But probably less is more is probably better.
Yeah, I am with William on this one. And if to use your analogy of roast, I would do the meat on the plate, maybe the potatoes and some gravy.
Yes.
And then I would put the veg on the table and people can help themselves. Because I hate it when you see a plate that's overloaded.
Yeah.
I think it's too much.
It
At
is.
the end of the day, it's about having delicious food. And it's the argument you use when chefs write menus and they make their menu so complicated. It's like everything has to be brilliant. So the less you have to do, the less things have to be brilliant. So be smart about it.
That's a good-
It's like some chefs you go and have 20 sort of chocolates or petit fours after a meal. That means 20 have to be brilliant. Whereas if you do 3 amazing ones rather than substandard 15, you know what I mean?
Oh,
That's the
good.
way I look
And then
at it.
that bonus question.
Yes,
Now, I don't
the
know. This
plating.
might be a bit sort of restaurant-y rather than private home or nouvelle cuisine type stuff. But I was always taught you put the meat or the fish sort of towards the bottom of the plate traditionally. But the whole going in, that's a very fancy restaurant
I
thing?
really don't know what she's on
No,
about. If I'm absolutely, and no disrespect to the lovely lady, what's her name? Amy. Just because I just think if you're having a bowl of stew or something,
Yeah.
you're going to put the potato there and maybe the
It's also
stew
not
to
gonna
the side.
stay wherever you put it anyway.
Exactly, yeah. And whereas I think the meat you probably put slightly to the side, but if you go to a restaurant and it's all over one side, I think it's style over substance. They're worrying about
Yes.
that more than worrying about what it tastes like.
Oh, did you see there was a documentary,
like this.
I'm told, various people got in touch about, I think it was Gordon Ramsay,
Okay.
who with the new one at the Savoy.
Yes.
And they sat down and the plates were too
Oh,
big
yeah.
because they hadn't
yes.
seen and that's my pet hate with restaurants is the chefs are fantastic, the food is brilliant,
Yeah.
but sometimes you sort of forget, well actually
The
is it
extra
practical
bits,
for
yeah.
the waiter to take it to
Yeah.
and from the plate? How about the person, can you rest your cutlery like this,
Yeah.
or is it going to slope inwards?
Yeah.
And the food is, of course, 95% of the meal, but there is a
No,
little
but
bit
if you're
extra.
constantly fishing out your cutlery, or as you said earlier, if you're like this on the table, and then no, you've got to think of everything.
Yes,
and that's key actually.
I heard on your podcast when you were talking about ordering off the menu. So you were saying you wouldn't, if it was like lamb with blah, 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 and blah, 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 you wouldn't read out the whole thing. You'd just be like, I'll have the lamb.
Yeah.
I only picked that up recently from William, so I'd be like, I'll have the lamb with the potatoes and the dove. Yeah, and just say the lamb
Read the
and
whole
the
thing.
chicken.
Yeah.
So sorry, William always says, "I'll have the lamb."
Yeah.
Yes, like
Oh, yeah,
obviously
yeah.
any side vegetables,
Yeah.
you say those.
Yeah.
But rather than reading
Oh,
what is
read the
written,
whole- oh, yeah, totally,
you
yeah,
just
yeah,
say,
yeah.
I'll have the lamb.
I try
off
and
the
read the whole thing.
Yeah.
I try and
So
read
just
those.
say you'll have the
Why
lamb.
though?
As if they've never heard it. Like they put it on the menu, and I was like, "I'll have the peppered seared lamb."
That's what I do.
And they're like, "Yeah, no, I know what it's called."
Yeah, I know. And they wait and they just put the lamb.
Yeah, they're just going in the kitchen going, "Lamb."
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Really? They are. aren't they?
Three lambs in beef on a turbot. No
Is
one's
there
saying-
anything that you? They're just shouting it through the door, aren't they? I personally love a dip. Do you guys like a dip? Would you do a double dip ever?
I would if it was just like on your own.
Yeah.
You know, if you
Well done.
If you with, yeah. But if you've got people around,
If it's a communal dish of hummus, for example, then no, don't double dip.
I actually saw one of your videos where you said to remove the dip and put it on your plate.
Yes.
Was that the video?
Yeah, you can do that.
I was like, that's,
Yeah.
I ain't got time for that.
If you've got a plate.
If you've
It's
got a
fat
plate,
thing,
yeah.
have you seen how he eats a banana?
No.
With a knife and fork.
No. Before you guys go, we want to bring
Shall
you
I
this.
get it then?
Oh.
Time, because no, we're on a schedule.
Oh shit! Okay. Here we go. Okay, careful. There's a. Oh yeah. I was gonna say get that.
Oh, look at this.
So there's a cloche coming
There's a
over.
cloche arriving on a board, dead posh. Do you have a cloche?
No, I don't. Might in the cupboard. I don't know.
I'll get you a
Yeah.
cloche.
Thank you.
Jordan, do you have a cloche?
I can't say I do.
No, I
No.
don't have a cloche either. Okay, so underneath the cloche, what we have here
got some
is what we've assembled, a Jordan North favourite, a picky tea.
Oh, look at
wow.
that.
Now,
Thank you.
You can tell Waitrose sponsor you.
look at that. That is a proper one, isn't it?
That is. Oh, that is. Look, the Scotch egg, sausage rolls. You've got piccalilli.
Yes.
This is a solid.
It's a serious one. I art directed this myself.
Did you?
actually?
Because we had a call about one because Angela apparently said in the week that you didn't know what a picky tea was.
No.
Somebody else asked me that this week.
And Claire didn't know what it was, did you?
So,
I was like, what, Jim? What? Well,
in certain parts of the country, they call it a party tea
Yeah.
or a carpet picnic or
Never heard of those
freezer
expressions,
tapas.
haven't
yeah.
Yeah.
Carpet picnic, I really dislike.
Yeah, it's a bit icky. isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like. It sounds.
I've
If
heard, did you
it's-
say fridge tapas?
Yeah, fridge tapas.
I've heard of that.
In America, they call it a girl dinner. And it's just
Oh,
a picky
God,
tea.
yeah,
Don't like
yeah,
it. It's
it's
just
girl
it's just a
dinner.
picky
Wow.
tea.
It's a
picky tea. It's just little picky schmicky.
And I've made it my thing. And my mum said, you used to love it as a kid, but we just used to make it you when we were hungover. I've talked about my mum drinking a lot on this. So
We love you.
3
Get
times.
on next time.
So she'd like get all picky bits out, put crisps in a bowl, and it'd be a
Nice.
picky tea. And we'd be
I
like,
love
yes.
it. It
Yeah.
felt fun, didn't it, having like crisps in a bowl and
Yeah.
like half a pork pie, when really actually it's just like crap we've got in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I fell for that too.
But
But it's lovely.
I met mine with like turkey dinosaurs. You don't know what they are, Angela. It's fine. Smiley
do them at
faces.
Milano.
Imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yes.
So do you do a hot one?
Yeah, so it's basically what's left over. I've made it
Right.
with Yorkshire puddings in freezer before.
Yeah.
Just put them in.
Oh,
yeah.
yum.
Yeah.
Well, we've gone for like a cold one. I suggested Scotch egg pork pie, bit of cheese, bit
What's
of ham,
that?
sausage roll. This is a bit of a curveball, but I thought this could be nice. That's like a whipped feta,
Oh,
which I thought
okay.
could be nice and a bit of bread.
Baby
Yeah.
bell.
Olives, a cornichon. Now, this one is rogue.
Chickpeas.
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 I thought they
which-
were big marrow fat peas.
Which I'm told is a go-to picky tea essential now.
Oh.
I
But
feel
what
like
do
a
you do
plain
with it?
chickpea.
No,
I don't
you
wanna
need
eat
to
that.
dress it up a
I'm going
bit.
to try it.
I'm
but
going to
that
have
can't
some.
be-
What would you call it?
A cold collation. That's what I'd probably call it.
A buffet.
Yes. But I can already feel my arteries saying thank you to all of this. So
all of this.
Yeah.
Is there a posh version of a picky tea? Is that like charcuterie board?
Well, I guess it's a bit middle class, but yeah, I would just
But
call
tea
it
is a tea thing, isn't
Yeah,
it? If
tea.
in the etiquette world, you would have
Yes.
tea at what, 4 o'clock?
4ish, 5ish.
And
yeah.
you would have a selection of sandwiches,
bread and
cake,
butter,
bread and butter,
cake.
all of that.
Cake, not patisserie.
Yes, you see, I
Patisserie
love
would
an
be private
afternoon
home.
tea. I love the
Sorry,
sandwiches.
patisserie is restaurant.
Yeah.
Private home is cake.
Is
Yeah,
cake.
I love a cake.
I might have one of these pieces. This
Please
is
get involved.
charcuterie.
Yeah,
Which is
they're my
great.
favourites.
Thank you
And
very
if-
much.
Would you ever do something like this down
I
Murano?
sort of do stuff like this, but it's like it's like that to me is Boxing Day.
Yes.
It's that sort of
Yeah,
stuff,
that's
you know.
peak picky tea season.
Yeah,
that is
I-
peak picky tea season.
That's picky tea
It is.
season. We come to the end of the show question. We have a question for both of you guys. If you answer the question correctly, you will win a Waitrose goodie bag.
Oh.
It's basically your big shop done for the week.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good.
Wendy's going to be well up for this if
Oh
I
yeah,
win it.
straight to Wendy's this. Okay, to win the goodie bag, please play our Mr. and Monsieur quiz. Get your questions right and you will win that bag. William, question for you about Jordan. What is the only item listed under personal life on Jordan's Wikipedia page?
Is it to do with Burnley Football Club?
Nope,
Oh.
Oh God.
not to do with football club.
That's his entire identity.
And Guinness.
And Guinness. I'll give you
Oh, brothers?
no, I'll give you a clue. It's to do with education.
Oh, the University of Sunderland.
Absolutely
Yeah.
correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
And that he's an honorary something.
Honorary
fellow.
He
Fellow?
was gutted that I got a fellowship before him. He was like, "You're gonna get an OBE before me at this rate."
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Right, that bag is yours, William. Congratulations.
Oh, that was easy. I
yeah, that was
think
easy.
you helped me
I
considerably.
did, so I'll take
I'll
half
allow
the
you
bag.
to have something.
I'll take the wine
Yeah.
out of it. Jordan, your question about William is: how long did William stay on the mechanical bull for in Benidorm? Cast your mind back.
Can I just say, he hated Benidorm, by the way. To the point where my mum and dad came because they thought it'd be fun and we thought it'd be a laugh.
I loved that.
He
I thought that was
hated
brilliant.
it.
I thought I was a very good sport.
Yeah.
He was on the ball.
I couldn't quite believe that breakfast, I have to say.
Oh, yeah.
The breakfast.
That was
Yeah, that we filmed at
insane.
3:30 in the afternoon.
But never mind that, even if you filled it at breakfast time, you couldn't have eaten all that. Anyway, answer.
How long do you think he was on that bull for?
1 minute 20 seconds.
Oh, close. 1 minute 2 seconds. Oh, we'll give him that.
Yeah, we'll give him
He
that.
got the right numbers.
He got the right numbers. He got the right numbers.
I think, more importantly, I lasted the longest, I think.
Did
I?
you?
Yes.
Wow.
Because Jordan had to go and Ben, our producer, also had to go.
Wow, good
Yeah.
job, William.
But he probably had a hangover.
Guys, thank you for coming round.
Thank you so much for having me.
Lovely to see you. The bags are yours. The picky tea you can take home.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's all yours.
That's all
We will
yours.
take it home.
Take the cloche,
Thank
William.
you.
Oh, thank you.
A round of applause for William and Jordan, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Guys.